The importance of practicing in between your guitar lessons. In this video, I'm going to speak to you about that subject. And it's very important for you to practice in between your guitar lessons. Welcome everybody, it's Stefan Joubert here from the Stefan Joubert Guitar Academy. And what I do is I specialize in online Zoom guitar lessons, and I'm here specifically to help you as an adult learner take your guitar playing to the next level. I teach various students with different styles, classical, jazz, rock, metal, and my goal is to empower adult guitar students to really get the best out of their playing. Most of my students learn guitar for their own pleasure, and that's absolutely fine. And my job is to help them become great at their playing and help them to succeed, at whatever goal they've got, whether it's just for the pleasure or whether it's to become really good in their playing. A lot of my students also perform. I've got students playing in professional bands as well, and I just help them with that extra touch to be able to perform so much better. So in this video entitled, why it's important to practice in between the guitar lessons, let's get into it and let me explain the importance of that. So, the first thing I'd like to talk to you about is, if you're taking guitar lessons, I want to congratulate you, because taking lessons is the way to become better at playing the guitar. If at this stage you're learning by yourself and you're not taking lessons, I want to urge you, get a guitar teacher. It can be someone like myself online, it could be a local teacher. You want to make sure the teacher that you study with has got a track record. You want to make sure that that teacher is going to look after you, and that teacher will make sure to take you from where you are today to the next point. Do your research, don't just study with anybody, get someone really good. If you're not studying with somebody, you must get somebody. I would at least urge you to get somebody. You see, the thing of having a guitar teacher is, if you meet with a guitar teacher on a weekly basis, I do not like once every fortnight, although some people do provide lessons that way. But if you meet on a weekly basis, that is when you're going to get great results. You see, because what it is, let's say you've got your guitar lesson on a Tuesday evening. Every Tuesday you've got to face your guitar teacher. Every Tuesday you've got to come in to show him or her what you've done the last week. That in itself puts some responsibility and accountability on your part. Learning by yourself puts no accountability on your part. You could be practicing or not practicing. No one's going to know. But if you've got a teacher that you have to meet, and the teacher asks, how was the practice? And you say, I didn't have time, which, of course, myself teaching adult students, that can happen. But it's hard to say that. So what generally tends to happen is you do make a little bit of time to practice. So why is it important to practice in between the guitar lessons? So let's just take a typical guitar lesson. You're going to the lesson. Your teacher is talking to you about the blues. Let's say you're learning a blues and you're learning about the tritones. So a blues in A, and you're learning about the flat seventh and the third, the two essential notes, and how you can move from an A dominant seventh to a D dominant seventh just by moving a half a step down. So in the lesson you learn, wow, okay, I've got these two notes, and these two notes can just go down there, and if I just have those two, I can already get a cool blues sound out of that, and actually just use those notes, including that note, to actually play through an entire 12-bar blues. So then, let's say in the same lesson, you're also learning some arpeggios, and you're learning to play from an A7 to a D7. In the lesson, you get to understand everything. Everything is, there's lights going on. You understand exactly what your teacher is saying. At the end of the lesson, you go back and you're like, where is the tritone? Was it that? Was it that? Okay, so you look on the material and you find, okay, it's the G and the C sharp in the case of A7. And then you look for the D. You can't quite remember what happened, but then you look at the material and you study it. And if you study it and you come back the next week, then your teacher can actually work further upon the material that's been discussed. Now, if you don't practice, you're going to have to do that same lesson again in the guitar lesson. And that's not ideal. Of course, if you don't have any time to practice and you're super busy, it's still much better to attend weekly and learn in the lesson rather than not attending. So I'm not really speaking to people who do not have any time. You're doing a great job already. I'm speaking to those who have the time. You see, if you practice what your teacher gives you and you practice on a weekly basis, then you'll be able to play, you know, these arpeggios. And it will get easy for you then to improvise, you know. And you'll understand how one thing moves to another thing. And that is important. That's why every single week you should have a practice schedule. And what I would recommend is have a set time to practice and have a set place where you practice. Sometimes and some weeks you may not be able to practice, and that's fine. Don't feel guilty. Come back the next week and practice. But two things: set time, set place. And a third thing, set schedule. So most of the time, set time, set place, set schedule. If you do that, the more set you are, the more you will develop. And you know, it's like compound interest. If you can keep to a set schedule, set time, over a number of years, you're going to get so much better results than the guy who's just doing it in a free way, just practicing whenever he or she wants to practice. It's not great, because you lose out on that extra interest upon the interest, or return upon the return. So that's the thing you want to go for, whether it's in your financial life or whether it's in your guitar life. It's the return upon the return that you want to go for, and it's the same with the guitar playing. And how do you get the return upon the return upon the return and get the whole thing to explode? Well, you practice daily. You've got a set time, set place, set schedule. Sometimes you may be traveling, be on a business trip. That's fine. You can practice inside of your mind's eye. You don't need a guitar, and I can teach you that, or how to do that. There's great methods for that. But when you get back and you've got your schedule, again, set time, set place, set schedule. As much as possible, because you want that interest upon the interest. And if you do that, you will really, really, really be surprised at how your guitar playing can skyrocket over a number of years or a number of months. So study with someone great, work daily, as much as you can, set time, set place, set schedule. And of course, sometimes just jam and have fun with the instrument. That's part of it. I'm not saying it should be all just, all just scheduled in, like scheduled in the diary. I'm not saying that. You can also have times where you just have a ball and jam. I think sometimes you learn the greatest things about the instrument when you're just jamming and you're moving into that other realm. Let's call that the fourth dimension. And in that fourth dimension, you discover things. But you cannot go there unless you practice in a set time, set schedule, and set place. And if you do that, and you combine that with some jamming and some impromptu playing, then you'll go to that other realm where you'll discover things you never knew existed on the instrument. So follow the advice, practice in between your lessons as much as you can, get the interest upon the interest on your guitar playing, and you will become a success. I'll speak to you again in the next video. Please do subscribe. Please do share the videos. Please leave me a comment, and I look forward to speaking to you again in the next video.